Hey guys, it's Kevin here. I've just been on YouTube for a little bit and I've been watching this guy for a little bit. His name is G. Literal. I thought he gave some pretty entertaining content. I like his editing style and yeah, I think he's a pretty entertaining person. So I thought I would react to one of the videos that I haven't seen just yet. I would just react to it and then I guess post to YouTube my reaction. I don't expect this to get many views. I respect people who react to videos and who are, I guess, constructive in their reactions, but I'm not gonna make this a very common thing unless it's something that I actually would find entertaining. So we're gonna watch What is Life After High School. This is part two. I haven't seen part one yet either, but part two was the first thing that came up. I saw the first like 20 seconds of it already, and I think it should be fine. All right, let's get into it.
Being an adult sucks.
Oh, just to clarify, I am gonna watch the whole video, but I'm also going to be pausing just to give my input throughout the video.
Don't forget to join the Discord. The link is in the description below. Well, see, ever since I was a kid, being an adult seems so cool. Like, you mean to tell me I get to drive, drink, watch R-rated movies, and go clubbing? And because of how folks were glamorizing all of these things, I genuinely wanted to be one of those kids who grew up really fast. I
Me
kid you
too.
not, I chose not to play around with the other kids because I deadass thought those folks were childish. But then I actually became an adult, and not gonna lie, it didn't actually become any better whatsoever. Like, you mean to tell me that all the benefits that come from being an adult is tied with so many responsibilities? And each responsibility feels like a drawback, so you don't even want to do half the stuff that you can do as an adult. And not to mention, these drawbacks aren't even physical either. You see things like debt, depression, and realizing the fact that you're getting older. And yes, that feeling of getting older actually hurts.
So, I guess to stop here, yeah, uh, you don't you don't really know what your parents go through until you actually have grown up and become an adult, and you probably get to scratch the surface of the responsibilities that your parents had while you were growing up. And obviously, as a child, you're oblivious to it. So, yeah, I've definitely felt that way before. um, but in terms of being terrified at the thought of getting older, I am one of those people who feel the complete opposite. Those very few people who feel the complete opposite. I actually like the idea of getting older because I like the idea of getting more experiences out of life and becoming wiser as I age. So thinking about it that way, I actually enjoy um the concept of aging or getting older. Obviously, everyone has different maturity levels at different ages, but generally speaking, getting older makes you wiser, depending on who you are. So, yeah, I do enjoy getting older, but I definitely understand the hardships of being an adult or transitioning into adulthood.
Peter Pan syndrome is a pop culture term used to describe individuals who refuse to
Peter
grow up
Pan
and take on
syndrome.
adult responsibilities.
Now, see, as a kid, Peter Pan was an interesting story for me. Cause not gonna lie, even
I'll
as
let
a
him
kid, I
speak
never
about
really
this, I
understood
guess.
the idea of not wanting to grow up. Like, being a kid is all cool and all, but you don't really get to do a lot. And if you don't got no guardians or anything, you really won't see nothing. So when it came to actually sitting down and watching Peter Pan and understanding his logic, it just didn't make sense to me whatsoever. But now I'm an adult, I really understand his message, and it really weighs a lot on my head because not gonna lie, being an adult is not fun at all. It's like the older you get, you low-key lose the light that you had as a kid. The light in which you saw the world in is completely gone, and now it just feels empty. I'm gonna be so real with you, being an adult in this day and age is like working as a cog in a machine. For a lot of people, you barely get a choice as to what you actually want to do with your own life. And most of the time, you barely even get the chance to work on your own goals and ambitions. For a lot of people, your actions don't even lead anywhere. And for a lot of people, you tend to see them fall into some dark spaces because of this. Like,
Yeah, that is definitely true. Um, I am one of those fortunate people who uh live in a household where my parents still try their best to provide for me, but I'm an adult and I do my own thing. Like I pay for my own stuff and stuff. But the only thing I don't do is pay to stay at the house. Everything else I pay for. Um, I completely get it because there are people who don't have that kind of life because they're like from a young age, like even starting from their teens, when you're so young, when you got your first job, like I don't know, maybe like 15 years old, 16 years old when you get your first job. There are people who are like that. There are people who have to start getting a job right away because they got to pay for shit. um and they probably had the kind of upbringing where um the moment they turn 18, or the moment they finish high school, they have to be on their own or be fully independent. And it's tough because there are people out there who have life goals or certain career goals, and they can't do it because they're immediately thrown out into the real world, and they just have to fend for themselves. And they have to spend their time working a job that makes them money right away, and basically delaying the opportunity to work towards their actual goals. So yeah, it's tough.
Realistically speaking, how many of y'all have actually gone out of your way and spoken to someone who you graduated from high school with?
I have. I'm still friends with uh quite a bit of people from high school. So yeah.
Proud of you, man. You finally did it. Finally graduated. It feels good, man. But just be careful. Life hits you fast in a blink of an eye. Y'all always be saying that. Look. What the? Wake your ass up.
Ah, shit, why'd you hit me?
You still got your capping gown on. It's been like 3 years, bro.
What?
3 years.
3
yeah,
years.
You graduated in 2019. It is now 2022. Wait, what do you mean 2022? It was just 2019. That's how fast life hits you.
Because real talk, from a lot of people, if they're not happy, you tend to see them in some of the worst light ever. Like me personally, I graduated almost 4 years ago. And I recently had a conversation with someone I actually graduated with. And I kid you not, I had this 30-minute conversation with this dude. And for some reason, I felt like the light in his eyes just disappeared. I remember back in high school, bro was almost always smiling and happy. But now it just seems like he's just a shell of his old self. And I kid you not, almost every sentence that came out of bro's mouth was something related back to high school. Like, bro, it's almost been 4 years since we graduated. You mean to tell me you still thinking about all this stuff every day? The craziest part about it is that this is a sad reality for a lot of the people that do tend to graduate after high school. There's a reason why a lot of people have their glory days as their high school years. And for a lot of people, this stems from the fact that the dreams that you did have back in high school don't really seem that feasible anymore, especially now that you're an adult. We got real shit to worry about nowadays. I remember as a kid, I used to hop on the game the moment I came back from school. I did the same thing after I had work, and I did the same thing after sport as well too. But nowadays, when I come back from work, I'm way too tired to do a single thing. Deadass, I understand what my parents were talking about when they got back from work and they were tired as hell. On top of that too, I got responsibilities I have to deal with.
Okay, I gotta stop there because a lot of what he said started to resonate with me because when he was telling the story about how his old high school friend had like the light in his eyes just faded. Like that was wow. I'm like, wow, I get that. I haven't had that happen to me, but I've spoken to a few people from high school, and I've seen the same thing that this guy has been talking about. Um Obviously, I've had hardships transitioning into adulthood, and I think this happened like during college, like in the middle of college, like maybe 2 years after I started it. So that's when I started really happening for me. But I think because high school, I don't necessarily miss high school, and I don't talk about it as much with my friends. I don't, and now that I'm finished with college, oh, excuse me, I don't necessarily miss college. For one, I'm I'm working at my college, so yeah, I don't necessarily miss it as a student. Um, so, but what was the other thing he said? He said, what is it? When he gets home, when he got home from school, he would always like be on the video games and stuff like that. And that was me too. I would always be on the video games like for for hours. And now when high school was over and I was doing college stuff, college things, that happened a lot less. I played less video games, but then COVID happened, and I was put into we were all put into quarantine, and that made me start playing a lot more video games, and it was actually like really bad. Like there was times where I played for like 12 hours straight, and it was actually insane. I was actually surprised at myself for being able to do that. But now that college is over and I'm working and I'm kind of getting deeper into my adulthood as I save money to get my own place and everything. Yeah, it's I find myself not playing a lot of video games. At least not as much as I used to, which could be a good thing. It's probably something like you're moving on and stuff like that. Um, Not saying that there's anything wrong with playing video games, but um, it's just that you used to enjoy so many things when you were younger, and now when you try to do those same things, you tend to get bored a lot more quickly. And that's how I felt about most video games, aside from like very, very specific video games that I still play to this day. But yeah, there were times where I would visit a video game that I used to play all the time, and then I play it again, and I'm just like, oh, damn. Yeah, and there were times where I would, oh, what is it? Turn on my PlayStation 2 because I would play PlayStation 2 all the time when I was a child. And I thought like, hey, I should play some PlayStation 2 games. I kind of missed playing these games. And once I played one game, I got bored right away. And then that's when I realized, I don't I don't think I necessarily missed the video games I was playing. I think I missed the feeling I would get when I played them. So yeah, that kind of hit like a ton of bricks. But as you grow up, you kind of learn to prioritize other things in your life. Um, it's I think what this guy is getting at is he really, really misses like high school and like like his teenage years, which is normal. But if it's to the point where it's preventing you from moving on in life, uh, as described by Peter Pan syndrome, then yeah, it could be a problem.
Because who would have thought the moment that we got older, a lot of things would start negatively affecting you if you didn't realize. Even the things that you focus your time on can negatively affect you as well too. Play too many games in one day can negatively affect your pockets. Don't pay enough attention in class or college can negatively affect your pockets. If you only thinking about your current situation right now, you can negatively affect your pockets as well too. Folks be forgetting that when you're an adult, you actually have to pay attention to the long-term and the short-term effects of everything around you. Like, let me be real with y'all. I see a lot of people out here going to get a job and earning some money for the short-term situations and problems that they got going on. Some folks will really go out of their way to get a job just so they can buy a new computer or a new phone. And for some folks, they just be buying food. And for others, it's really just to save up the money. But for what though? I ain't trying to be a pocket watcher or anything, but what are y'all actually using your money for? One thing I noticed from a lot of adults is the fact that a lot of people really go out of their way to not understand how money works. This statement right here is gonna sound very crazy to a lot of the people who don't understand what I'm talking about. But saving up your money for no reason is actually not a good thing at all. Your money should be going into an investment of some sorts. And when I say this, I'm not saying that you should just spend all your money and not save a single thing. That's quite the opposite of what I'm trying to tell you. Yes, saving money is a good thing. But what I am trying to say is that you need to find a way to turn your money into an investment into something that you're currently doing. And this is one thing I could say to a lot of adults is the fact that a lot of people out here are not financially literate whatsoever. And this really ties back to the fact that a lot of people out here really don't have any goals or ambitions in their lives. For them, there really isn't a lot of things that they want to put their time and effort into. And sometimes when they do find that thing that they want to do, a lot of people tend not to actually do it for a very long time. And I'm not saying that you should turn everything into a job either, but I'm trying to tell you that a lot of the things that we do for fun can actually be monetized. And I can't even lie, it won't even be a bad thing for you to even try either, because
yeah, to stop there. Sorry if I'm stopping a lot, but I fully agree with everything you just said there. If you're if you have a job and you're saving up money, but you don't have a specific goal or you don't know what you're working towards, like that's still a bad thing. Not saying you should quit your job if you don't have goals or anything like that. Not saying you should stop saving money, like what he said. But if you're not, if you don't have a specific goal in the future that ties to why you're working and making all that money, if you're just focused on your short term situations, such as I just want to get a laptop, I just want food, I just want to, I don't know, do this, do that, then it's not a good thing. Definitely invest, find ways to invest your money into something, or at least have a goal so that you at least know what you're working towards, so that you can remind yourself why you are working at a job that you probably don't even like. So, for me, for example, I wanted to work towards getting a new car. So I saved money while working at the job that I do enjoy. It's part of my field. Um, so I saved up money and I got the car. So now what is my goal? Well, my goal is to continue to finance the car, and I actually want to pay off the car much earlier than what my financing than what my my financing plan suggests. So that's what I'm working towards, and I'm also working towards getting my own house or getting my own home. And I don't want to rent. I don't want to pay rent. I want to mortgage my first home. And I think, obviously, um, I don't want to get too deep into this topic, but the housing market is not the best right now in this country. But I do know that that's a goal in mine, and that's something I'm working towards. And that's why it's important to have a goal in mind so that you can remind yourself why you're doing the things you're doing. And I'm not sure what I'm not sure what I want to do after I get my house. I'm not sure. I haven't thought that far yet, but I am thinking long term, and I think it's important for a lot of people who are transitioning into adulthood to think about the long term things, especially when it comes to graduating high school. When you graduate high school, what do you want to do next? Do you want to go to college? Do you want to go to trade school? Do you want to go to the military? Let's say you go to the military. What are you going to do after the military? For your contract, what are you going to be doing? What's your job within your military contract? What do you want to do after your military contract is over? Do you want to get another contract for a longer term? Or do you want to stop doing that and maybe go to school or go to college or something like that? Or get a certification in anything? There are things that you have to think ahead. And while you're thinking ahead, you can also think of your present and be like, okay, am I doing what I need to do right now to work towards the future?
Is at the same time that Netflix that you're watching or those movies that you keep binging ain't really changing your situation at the end of the day. And I'm not even trying to sound like any of those financial gurus or those mentors that you be seeing on YouTube, because that's lame as hell. We really already have enough of those people in this earth right now. But what I am trying to put y'all onto is a different perspective here. There's nothing wrong with going out of your way and monetizing things that you love doing.
Sorry.
When you're younger, time seems more dense because the things you experience are new and your brain memorizes them as such.
One thing I really gotta bring up again too is that Peter Pan thing. I can't even lie. If you're an adult who's still trying to go back into the past or act younger than what you actually are, here's a word of advice, and I can't even lie, I'm insulting y'all as an individual. Cause real talk, you should not be acting like some 18 to 20-year-old if you're old as hell. This part of the video is for the 30-year-olds, because I know y'all be watching
The 30-year-olds.
You should not be acting like some 20-year-old when you are 30 years old. You should not be acting like some kind of teenager if you're past the teen numbers. I'm gonna give a pass
Of
to a
course.
20-year-old or a 21-year-old, but anything older than that, you guys are insane. I've seen too many situations where grown folk are going into spaces for younger people. And by grown, I'm talking about 20-year-olds going into spaces for teenagers and messing it up for everyone else around them.
Oh,
Like,
no,
real
no, no,
talk,
no.
If you are 30, 40, or even 50 years old in a club, you need to get your ass out of there right now. Cause real talk,
Yeah.
that fun is not built for you. It's not made for your age range at all. If you're that old, you should be focusing on starting your family or even taking care of the people that you have around you. You should not be worried about any nightlife whatsoever. Y'all out here getting ready for a fun night, but you got your old self with your skinny jeans and your wrinkly polo. On top of that, your eyebrows are starting to show some wrinkles. Not to mention your body don't even work the same way it was before, so you're not even dancing in the club. If you really think about it, the only thing that you're really doing in this space is looking for someone to trick on. And I'm really talking about everyone, because realistically speaking, if you think you're some kind of playboy doing all of this stuff, to
Yeah.
even some old lady who thinks she's young and turned, I can't even lie, you're not the person that you think you are. You really just old and saggy. Like, you gotta keep your saggy self out of the space. I feel like at this point in time, all the clubs need to have their own age range, and it's like an age specific club. So if anyone older tries to pop into the club, realistically speaking, we gotta take them out. Cause real talk, I feel like a lot of people tend to pull away their responsibilities to trying to act young in these spaces. Like,
So in terms of clubs, yes, I've been to clubs before. I've been to many bars before. Um I'm 24 now. I just turned 24, and I don't know what it is. I think when I was 20, when I was 23, like it was like I went to bars and I went to clubs and stuff, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel right. You know what I mean? And I'm only in my early 20s. I'll put that out there. I'm only in my early 20s, and I don't know, it seemed like I was having a fun time, but then at the same time it's just like, man, I gotta get home and, like, you know, get to my responsibilities. Obviously you go out to the club to, like, I guess, have fun and maybe forget about your responsibilities for a little bit, but if you do it too often, then that's where it kind of becomes a problem. Because then if you're not, especially if you have like financial issues or money issues in general, and you're still going out to the club and stuff like that, at that point you're kind of neglecting your responsibilities as you transition into adulthood. So at 23 I started going less often, and then now that I'm 24, it's just like, let's not go anymore. Like, if I go to the bar or club, I'll only go with like friends or something like that. Um, and I won't go as often, but other than that, I got some goals to work towards. And I don't think a club or going to the bar all the time or too frequently would help me achieve those goals. So yeah.
bro, you know how many baby mothers and baby fathers are chilling in these clubs? Like, let me really put this into perspective. You got 2 kids, your rent is due, you don't have a stable income, and your kids are at home missing.
It also depends on what situation you have, because you have 2 kids that you need to take care of and you're out in the club. Like, all right, be so for real. Like, what's wrong with you?
You should not be in this space whatsoever. Real talk, if I just described you as well, you should not have the time to be even happy or even smirk. Brother or sister, you are broke, and you should not be in this space being happy.
That's what I just
Especially
said.
in this economy where we don't have enough money.
If you have money issue or money problems and you are still going to the club frequently, then that is you are neglecting your responsibilities. I know I said it already, but I felt like I had to reiterate that because this guy just said exactly what I said before.
Money for a lot of things.
Just having fun with off limits in Mister's house.
Nigga, did I just catch you having fun?
Ooh. I not the Boondocks episode.
Now see, with all these things about adult life, can it even be good? Like real talk, would it even be good at all to be an adult? The simple answer is yes. And that's literally
Yeah.
because if you play your cards right and you're smart with how you move, you can most definitely enjoy your time as an adult. Listen, the first thing I gotta tell y'all is that a lot of people actually don't have any plans for their lives. And I've deadass said this a couple times in some videos, but realistically speaking, a lot of y'all don't actually know what you want to do with yourselves. And I'm not saying you should really go out of your way and make an itinerary for this, but real talk, you really gotta go out of your way and actually plan some stuff out for yourselves. Give yourself a goal or something that you really need or want to do to improve
I just
your life.
said that.
This can be little things that you can implement throughout the year that you can improve your life on. In my personal opinion, if you don't know the direction that you want your life to go in at the age of 21, you're kind of cooked, especially if you don't even have a plan for yourself for the next month or so. I'm gonna be so honest with you, if you are 21 years old right now with no plan ahead in your life, I want you to go down and sit for at least an hour or so and really think about what you're trying to do with yourself. Write down everything that you're good at, everything that you want to do, and everything that you could improve on. And see what you can even do that fits that criteria. Because realistically speaking, if you don't want to do it, that's not something that you should devote your life to. And I know for a fact that once you get all of that done, life just gets a little bit more easier. The next thing you really gotta do is actually have good relationships with people around you. It really doesn't hurt to be kind to people. And on top of that, having a good circle around you is probably one of the greatest things that you could ever have. Having a good set of people that bring you up and hold you accountable is one of the most important things about life. Life isn't just only you. A good set of people can really change your perspective on the world. And on top of that, that social interaction can improve your relations with other people around you as well too. And then the next thing I gotta say is that a lot
Yeah. Agree. Surround yourself with people who want you to succeed. Not saying you shouldn't surround yourself with people who don't want to have fun or grow or go out as much or do things, right? But make sure the people around you are also holding you accountable for, your actions. If they have a good head on their, make sure the people around you have a good head on their shoulders too. And if they see you making questionable decisions, and they hold you accountable for it, that shows that they care. If you are making questionable decisions or just outright bad decisions, and someone holds you accountable for it, or someone cares enough to hold you accountable for it and call you out on it and have a conversation with you about it, then try to hold on to those people, because they're just trying to help you succeed. They're just trying to help you be a better person than you already are. So yeah, surround yourself with the right people.
A lot of us gotta stop feeding into the BS. And y'all know what I'm talking about, from internet drama all the way to some stuff that happened at work to even gossiping. All of that stuff that doesn't have anything to do with you, it does not belong with anything that you gotta be paying attention to. There is way too many quote unquote adults out here focusing on other people's lives instead of their own. It's low key and high key embarrassing, and I can't even lie, a lot of people out here are stuck doing it. And the next thing I gotta say as well,
I'm gonna be honest with you guys, like, I actually have that problem. I was so focused on like other people's lives, and I guess judging them for it, that I didn't really take time to worry about myself. So busy judging other people's lives that I'm not taking control of my own life. That I admit I've had those issues before. But thankfully I'm taking charge of my life a lot more now, and I care a lot less about what people are doing in their lives, because it as long as it doesn't affect me, that's fine. As long as you don't have to care about other people's lives if it doesn't affect you. I'm saying that right now. Unless we're talking about, some close friends and stuff like that, a loved one, significant other, etc. But other than that, it's like, if it has nothing to do with you, stay out of it. Please.
well is do not keep your focus specifically on making money. I know what y'all gonna say, it's kind of hypocritical of me saying something like that, but at the same time, we really gotta go out of our way and learn how to experience the world for what it is. You really can't just be living this life thinking all about money all the time. It's not good for your mental health.
Sorry about that. Let me go back a few. Let me go back here. There we go.
Hypocritical of me saying something like that, but at the same time, we really got to go out of our way and learn how to experience the world for what it is. You really can't just be living this life thinking all about money all the time. It's not good for your mental health whatsoever. Use money as a tool or an aspect to get what you need or what you want. Use money as a way to improve your life and other people's lives around you. But don't go out of your way to actually do anything for money, and don't be going out here putting money above everything else, because that's gonna make you look like one of these people, and one of these people are not the people that you want to be looking like. And the last thing I gotta
Sorry, before he says the last thing, I agree to I agree and slightly disagree at the same time. So he says don't put all your focus on money. That is true. Don't put all your focus on money, but you should pay enough attention to your financial situation. That's what I'm saying. Experience life for what it is. I agree, but don't completely neglect your financial situations just to experience what life has to offer, because that's not good, because once you do that, then it goes downhill from there. You won't realize it at first, but you know, eventually it will catch up to you. Yeah, don't there are people who are very money hungry and you appreciate the hustle, but then the money gets to their head, and then that's where it becomes an issue. If you have goals, then it's good that you're focusing on those goals. If you have goals in life that require you to obviously get money, but if that's all you're doing and it's to the point where you're doing things that you probably shouldn't be doing for money, then yeah, be careful, because that's how people create gambling addictions, because they're trying to go through something and it's like, oh, I gotta make money, so they go out gambling or something. That's just an example, though. It's just an example that it's not always the case. There's other things too that other people shouldn't be doing for money. That, well, that's my own opinion. I'm not gonna express it or anything like that. It's just my own opinion.
talk about is shadow work, because a lot of y'all don't know how to look at yourselves whatsoever. To shadow work is to improve your mental, physical, and spiritual health. Everything that you're mentally or physically lacking in, you have to figure out a way to improve it. One of the best ways for that is shadow work in and of itself. But this is the end. Have a nice day, and God bless y'all.
Awesome. All right. Well, that was What is Life After High School, and it was a good video. I mean, he started talking about life after high school at first, and then I guess it turned into a video about giving advice for life after high school. Yeah, don't mind the background. Sorry, messy bed. Yeah, I agree with most of what he said, almost all of what he said. Definitely make goals for yourself as you transition into adulthood. What do you want to do with your life? And if you don't know, then, create, like what he said, create, and jot down some things that you think you're good at and some things that interest you. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of things that you have to go through as an adult, and life is complicated in general. Even as a teenager, life gets complicated as a teenager, and life gets even more complicated as an adult. And, some people get lucky, some people don't. And, yeah, it's just, as long as you create goals for yourself and long-term goals, and you are aware of your present, meaning asking yourself, is what I'm doing right now helping me work towards what my goal is in the future? That's what I mean. So, yeah, great video. Pretty cool. If I hope you guys see this video and probably subscribe to this guy. His name is G.Literal. So he's pretty cool. Subscribe to him. And if you like this reaction video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you agree with the things I said and the things this guy said, check out more of his videos, because I think he spits some wisdom on both you guys and me specifically. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you next time. Peace.